Hey everyone, and welcome to the Defining Your Life podcast, where we focus on living in our purpose, practicing presence, and activating our power in each moment. I'm Marsha Rell, your resident pep talk provider, and I invite you to join me as we continue to learn, lift each other up, and strive to level up together. Because we are never finished defining our lives, and it takes a village, so let's build one. Stay tuned for the episode. Hey everyone, I hope that you are doing well and that you had a wonderful weekend and that your week has been going well also. Like most weekends anymore, this one was very busy for me, but all good stuff. The highlight of my weekend was the men's roundtable dinner that I co-hosted with my friend Shelly, who you might remember was a guest earlier this year. But the purpose of the gathering was really just to create a safe space for men to share and allow us the opportunity to truly hear their perspective. You know, outside of our partners, our husbands, rarely do we get the opportunity to hear what men have to say, and certainly not how they would discuss the topics of relationships, mental health, work, all uninterrupted amongst one another. So it was great. We curated a bunch of questions for the group. The group was made up of men of different walks of life and different ages, and they all brought their unique perspective to the table. So you can imagine that the evening was filled with a robust, stimulating conversation that definitely left us all with something to think about. So I was grateful to have that experience. My husband, my brother participated. So it was nice to see them and hear them in a different space. But one of the topics that stuck out to me most was legacy, right? Now, I'm clear on the fact that there are many different ways to leave legacy, but even knowing and appreciating that, one of the main things that has always popped into my mind whenever thinking about legacy is money. Am I the only one here? I would be curious to know what the first thing is that pops into your mind when you're thinking about legacy as well. So feel free to share that with me. But passing down wealth from generation to generation is something that only a small percentage of us have been able to do in a way that is truly life-changing for the individuals, the generations that are coming up behind us. But there are really so many ways to build and leave legacy. And today I want to focus on 3 of those ways that any of us can execute on, right? And in fact, some of what I'm talking about could conceivably lead to more wealth because by default, you end up leaning into your purpose. And I think one of the main things to consider when thinking about leaving legacy is the intentionality of serving someone or something greater than ourselves. While I'm not talking about money specifically today, the mindset should still be focused on serving others even beyond what we have the ability to see, whether that's tangible, like dollars, or intangible, like your thoughts, your ideas, your how you move through life, how you treat folks, right? But I will say, if you have a great auntie out there with some extra land that she wants to divvy up in her will, tell her I am still ready to be adopted. I will gladly take a couple of acres. But seriously, we really need to be considering generosity beyond our generation, right? And just simply looking beyond ourselves overall. So with that being said, as we're living our day to day, we can be intentional in a few areas to ensure that we are creating a deep-seated legacy within our families, our communities, in our work or other organizations that we participate in. So here are 3 areas, aside from money, to think about intentionally when considering your legacy. Number 1, core memories. Because core memories shape us, right? Thanks, Inside Out too. I wasn't talking about core memories before I saw that. Maybe y'all were out here talking about it and I'm just new to it. But anyway, I love that concept, it resonates with me very much. But yes, core memories, they can be positive or negative, as you know, but they're always connected to something unforgettable that occurred in our lives. Not that you can determine what will become a core memory for someone else, but you can make sure that you are intentional about spreading joy, right? Creating wonderful memories that have the potential to be long lasting. How many times have you recalled a nostalgic memory that helped to shape you? Whether that was holiday gatherings, family traditions, right? Annual events that you loved being a part of. You might remember, an annual carnival or an annual lock-in at church or retreats you've gone on. These are all things that end up being core memories, right? It could be something specific that happened at those events or just the event overall is going to give you that warm feeling of nostalgia, but also just shape you in a different way. But if you're the person in your family or amongst your friends that identifies as the connector, right? Always bringing people together for these types of events. Not only are you creating core memories for those people, but that is your legacy. You just being you is legacy building. What can you create if you lean into that even more? Number 2, lasting impact and future influence. So this is taking it a step up from core memory creation, right? Meaning that what you've done played a huge role in shaping someone else's life, or it drove them into action, influencing their personal work moving forward. Many of us can probably say we know someone or are that someone who had a teacher that made them want to become a teacher because of the influence that teacher had on their lives. Remember that your current influence impacts the future. And then thirdly, your body of work, right? Your words, your ideas, your art captured in a tangible work. Maybe it's your style, which is intangible, but people still view it and it's stamped into their minds, right? You don't have to be rich to leave any of that behind. Capturing your thoughts or works that you created on paper or in other mediums that people can use, enjoy, and study later down the line are all part of your legacy. And what may seem meaningless to you may very well be cherished later, right? Think of times when you may have read a book or studied a piece of art created by someone in past generations, doodles that they may have sketched in boredom, journal entries that were unfinished, songs that may not have ever been published. All things that generations after couldn't wait to get their hands on, even though it may have seemed like nothing to the person who created it in the moment. So why is all this important? Well, for me, it is a reminder to always operate from a place of excellence. It's not just showing up, it's how you show up. And like I said, I'm talking to myself right now because before any of this becomes legacy, it is how you show up in your daily life right now. Legacy is simply an extension of what you have done with your time. So we should be acting with that in mind. Like, what are you doing right now? How are you treating people right now? What are you creating right now? Right? You never know who's going to benefit from it, be impacted by it, or enjoy what you might have to offer right now, or residually through the legacy that we leave behind. So allow me to share a hypothetical scenario. Y'all know I like a good story. So you may have heard about an oil tycoon who was rolling in the dough and left millions to his family. But in that same breath, you might hear that he was a cutthroat businessman who walked over any and everyone to get what he wanted. No one misses him now that he's gone. They spend his money, but his actions have left a legacy of unhappiness behind to haunt his family. Those millions are part of his legacy, but so are all the other not so wonderful things that overshadowed what seemed like a gift. Because in a way, he tried to buy that family, and every dollar spent was a reminder of his absence, his anger, his ruthless ambition, but not his love. Now, that was a bit of a stretch. I'm just trying to paint a picture for y'all, okay? And I say all that to say, how are you showing up every day? How are you pouring into others? How are you using your gifts? How are you helping the person next to you? Are you joy-filled or looking for reasons to stay bitter? Do you care about, protecting books or preserving art or other forms of history? Are you concerned about the impact your carbon footprint will have after you're gone? Or does it not matter to you since you figure you'll be gone by the time it matters anyway? I could keep going, but I'm sure you get the idea that the actions that we're taking in our lives are truly part of the legacy that we are building each and every day and what we'll leave behind, whether we think so or not. So why not just embrace that process of building your legacy, using it to fuel you, and become a better person along the way as you contribute to something greater than yourself? I'm going to leave you with a quote from Maya Angelou today. She says, "If you are going to live, leave a legacy. Make a mark on the world that can't be erased." Now, let me ask you, what is the mark that you're leaving on the world, my friends? We are out here writing in permanent ink, so you better make it count. Thanks so much for listening today. If what you have been hearing has been beneficial, don't forget to rate, review, share, and follow the pod. And if this content resonates with you and you'd like to hear more from me, follow me on TikTok and Instagram as well. I'm Defining Your Life on both platforms. If you'd like to share your thoughts and ideas, email me at timetodefineyourlife@gmail.com or send me a DM on the platforms that I mentioned. I look forward to hearing from you, and I can't wait to chat with you all again next week. Take care until then.